Here's today's First Word Daily Devotion.
Let's start February the 23rd in our New Testament reading this morning from Mark chapter 2, verses 18 through 28. And remember, as we're in Leviticus, as we're going through Leviticus, one of the things that I mentioned to you yesterday was we need to be able to understand the old in order to understand what's new about the new. And so we have this reminder from Jesus as we have this passage here in Mark chapter 2, especially as it relates to verse 20, when the Pharisees were asking why the disciples of Jesus didn't fast like John's did. And Jesus said to them, verse 19, "Can the wedding guests fast while the bridegroom is with them? As long as they have the bridegroom with them, they cannot fast. The days will come when the bridegroom is taken away from them, and no one will fast in that day." Now, he's talking about a time of new that's coming. And then he gets specific. Listen to what he says. He says, "No one sews a piece of unshrunk cloth on an old garment. If he does, the patch tears away from it, and the new from the old, and the worse tear is made. No one puts new wine into old wineskins. If he does, the wine will burst the skins, and the wine is destroyed, and so are the skins. But new wine is for new wineskins." And so we have that analogy, we have that demonstration to let us know what is so significant about the new of the new, or especially as it relates to the old of the old. And so let's turn back for a minute to Leviticus chapter 8, just to demonstrate this, to demonstrate what it took then to see the glory of God. Look at Leviticus chapter 8 and verse 4. "Moses did as the Lord commanded him, and the congregation was assembled at the entrance of the tent of meeting." Now, that's important. Moses is walking in steps of obedience. Moses has detailed information telling him what he is to do, and here he is doing it. And then look at verse 6 we have here in Leviticus chapter 9. "And Moses said, 'This is the thing that the Lord commanded you to do.'" Now here's the key verse for us, "that the glory of the Lord may appear to you." So when we read Leviticus chapter 8, it's really bloody, and I mean that literally. You have a lot of killing of animals, a lot of blood being sprinkled, blood being rubbed here and there. That shows us the costliness of sin. The reason for the sacrificial system is that people are not right with God. Things are not in proper order, and so there has to be sacrifice in order to see glory. And that's what Leviticus 9:6 tells us. The reason for all the sacrifice in chapter 8 is to let us know, is so that the glory of the Lord may appear. Now let's continue reading just a bit. Look at what happens here in Leviticus 9 in verse 23. "And Moses and Aaron went into the tent of meeting, and when they came out, they blessed the people." Look at this. "And the glory of the Lord appeared to all the people. Fire came out from before the Lord and consumed the burnt offering and the piece of fat on the altar. When all the people saw it," look at their reaction, "they shouted and they fell on their faces." And so this is what it took to see the glory of the Lord. Now, flip over to Psalm chapter 50. Look at what God says in Psalm 50, in particular at verse 8. "Not for your sacrifices do I rebuke you. Your burnt offerings are continually before me." And then look at what God says. "I will not accept a bull from your house or a goat from your folds, for every beast of the forest is mine, the cattle on 1,000 hills. I know all the birds of the hills, all that moves in the field is mine." Now skip to verse 14. "Offer to God a sacrifice of thanksgiving. Perform your vows to the Most High, and call upon me in the day of trouble. I will deliver you," look at this, "and you shall glorify me." Now skip down to verse 23. "The one who offers thanksgiving as his sacrifice glorifies me. To one who orders his way rightly," look at this language, "I will show the salvation of God." Jesus himself came in the pattern of the Old Testament in order so that we could understand him. If he didn't pattern himself after the Old Testament, we couldn't know who he was. But the Old Testament gives us all of these details, especially as it relates to, if we're honest, those details that we would want to skip over and read through. But the benefit of reading the Bible like we are together is we get to see Jesus and not erect a Jesus in our own minds or in our own imaginations. But we get to be confronted with the God of the ages, who is faithful and true, who shows us himself, who shows us his glory through Jesus Christ, our Lord. He is the new thing that the Bible hopes for and anticipates, and indeed he is the new thing that we long for today.